Hello everybody, my name is Robert and I've been with Zilco for a number of years, and today, after numerous requests, we've decided to put together a retail training video to try and simplify Myler bits for our retail customers. It's not a complicated system and we're going to cover a number of steps. We're going to look at the manual and the information that it contains. We're going to cover the bitting system as far as the variety of cheek pieces and mouthpieces and the various combinations with which they are available. Then we will cover some sales support information that's available to you. So we'll start now with the manual, the Myler bit manual. So as a Myler bit dealer or retailer, you should have a copy of this. If you don't, then obviously contact Zilco and we'll send you one out. The whole Myler bit system was designed by the three Myler bit brothers. Many years ago, they felt that there was no real suitable bits for riding and training horses. We all know, if we're involved in horses, that in the principle of training a horse, regardless of what you're doing with it, whether it's western or dressage or show jumping or pleasure riding, it's all based on a system of applying pressure to the horse and relieving that pressure when you get the correct response from the horse. And they felt that at that time there were no bits available that allowed them to alleviate the pressure on the horse. And a comfortable, happy horse that is relaxed is a lot more trainable than one that is tense and under constant pressure. So the whole idea of the Myler bit system is to be able to relieve that pressure when you get the correct response from the horse. Initially it appears very complicated, but it's actually very simple. As we go through the manual, the bits are all designed to work on the various parts of the horse's mouth, which you will probably mostly be familiar with, such as the tongue, the bars of the horse's mouth, which are between the front and the molar teeth, the pole on behind the ears, the chin or curb area, and the palate. You will be familiar on how bits are measured as far as the length of the shanks and the width of the mouthpiece. I will cover the bits and how they operate in a bit more detail later on, but in the meantime I suggest that you familiarise yourself with the manual, because it gives you a great deal of information which will help you to understand the features and benefits of the Myler bit system so you can sell them with confidence to your customers. So I won't go into huge detail. We'll come back to the combination bit later on in the presentation. How the bitting system works is you have all the variety of mouthpieces, and don't worry, it looks rather daunting at the moment when you see there are so many options, but this presentation is aimed mainly at the Australian and the New Zealand market. So a lot of the more complicated mouthpiece relate to Western bits, which are not a huge part of our market. Our bits that are sold in Australia and New Zealand are generally destined for the genuine equestrian, the dressage, the show jumping, the eventing, the stock horse or pleasure riders. So there's the whole system of the various mouthpieces, which we will come back in more detail with some of the examples that I'm going to show you. Then there's all the cheek piece options, right through from loose ring through to Western D's and shanks. And then there's the condensed version pages, which gives us a breakdown of the Myler bit codes, which I will come back to you. There are also, in your manual here on page 15, it lists and demonstrates the bits that are allowed at the moment for dressage in Australia and New Zealand. These rules can change from time to time, as most of you will be aware, but in the meantime it lists the cheek pieces which are legal with the associated mouthpieces. Now, As you will appreciate, not all mouthpieces are suitable to use with all cheek pieces. Here is a chart that shows you the code and the level for each of the mouthpieces, and across the top of the page it lists all the various cheek pieces, and where there is a black dot, then that Mylar bit is manufactured. So I will reiterate, obviously not all mouthpieces are suitable to use with all cheek pieces. Then we move on to all the various bits that are available. You will notice that the pages are listed by cheek pieces. So we've got loose rings, we've got English Ds, we've got medium Ds, egg butts, and so on. They are also colour coded for level 1, which I'll explain, level 2, which starts to introduce a port, and level 3, where they become more ported. You will also notice that in the listing of all the various bits and codes, that some are in black and some are in red. Where they are listed in black, that is a normal stocked item by Zelco. If it has got a red code, as you can see there, then they are a special order, and there may be a slight delay in their availability. They will probably end up having to be ordered from our distributor in the United States. So why are the Mylar bits so good and so popular? First of all, the diameter of the mouthpiece is ideally designed for the greatest comfort of most horses. It's not too thick and it's not too thin. It's made up of 3 components. This is a level 1 bit. So you have it straight in the horse's mouth, which doesn't allow a great deal of tongue relief, but the roller still fits very comfortably on the horse's tongue. The bars of the bit are curved so that they fit comfortably in the horse's mouth, and with the roller in the middle, they provide that independent side action which works on the bars of the horse's mouth. If a horse tends to tilt its head or drop its shoulder, by just simply lifting the rein, you will help to correct that action. You will notice too that there are small amounts of copper inlay here in the mouthpiece, which helps the horse to salivate, which aids the relaxation of the horse, and obviously the more relaxed the horse is, the easier it is to train and to ride. If we compare the Mylar bit to the traditional nutcracker action bit, which has been used for centuries, this doesn't really provide any tongue relief for a start, and it's actually quite a harsh and severe bit with only the single joint, because if you feel it exactly as the name says, it's a nutcracker action, and it also provides a certain amount of discomfort and no relief to the horse whatsoever.